have to excuse me, I'm a little sick, so my voice is a little messed up, but I just wanted to ask, what happened to the liberty movement? I'm not talking about this new alt-right hybrid mutation. I'm talking about the actual liberty movement. The one that stood for 9/11 truth. The one that stood against all of these unconstitutional wars and regime change operations.
The deal with Iran will lead to nuclear problems. All they have to do is sit back 10 years, and they don't have to do much, and they're going to end up getting nuclear. I met with Bibi Netanyahu the other day. Believe me, he is not a happy camper.
Yeah, but you dodged my question. Would you take action against Iran militarily if you're president?
Depending on what the deal is, I would have to do that. I would defend certain groups of people over there.
The one that stood against big government and against the police state.
Stop and frisk had a tremendous impact on the safety of New York City, tremendous beyond belief.
And against the unconstitutional NSA surveillance state that's wrapping itself all around us right now.
I err on the side of security.
All right, so you would be in favor of restoring the Patriot Act?
I think that would be fine. As far as I'm concerned, that would be fine.
Where did that movement go? Because all I'm seeing today is a bunch of people making all kinds of completely irrational excuses for the complete flip-flopping of Donald Trump that has happened in just the course of a week. He's not even inaugurated yet. It's only been a week, and he's already completely changed his tone. He's really toned down a lot of his major talking points, which helped him get elected in the first place. He's completely flip-flopped on Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. He's talking about, people keep waiting. They say lock her up. He's not going to do it. He's already come out to say they're very good people and
said you wanted to get in jail. Your people in your audiences kept saying lock him up.
Yeah. But she did some bad things. She did some bad things. I know, but
a special prosecutor?
I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to hurt them. They're good people. I don't want to hurt them. And I will give you a very, very good and definitive answer the next time we do 60 Minutes together.
You know why he said it? For the same reasons I told everybody he said it like a year ago when I reported on it. They've been friends for 20 plus years. Things like the fact that he's ridden on Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express. He's in the flight logs. He's got multiple, I think something in the teens, 15 was it, something like that, different private phone numbers were found for Donald Trump and his wife in Jeffrey Epstein's black book. Why do you think that Trump didn't try to attack the Clintons on Epstein? He's already come out to say Obama's a very good guy, a real good guy, and he's going to take counsel from Obama while he's president. He said that.
I very much look forward to dealing with the president in the future, including counsel. He's explained some of the difficulties, some of the high-flying assets, and some of the really great things that have been achieved. So, Mr. President, it was a great honor being with you, and I look forward to being with you many, many more times in the future.
A couple weeks ago, Obama is the worst president in American history, but now he wants to take counsel from the worst president in American history.
You know, you said that you might call President Obama for advice. Would you think of calling President Clinton for advice?
Well, he's a very talented guy, both of them. This is a very talented family. Certainly, I would certainly think about that.
This is somebody who's talking about nationwide stop and frisk. He said he wants to reauthorize the Patriot Act. He's talking about potential war with Iran and blaming all this stuff on Iran.
When he became the presumptive nominee, he approached me, and what he said to me is, he said, David, I want to be a very pro-Israel candidate. I want to be the most pro-Israel candidate that this nation has seen, and I want you to help me do that. That was my mandate to start with. It was an instruction from Donald Trump to help design a policy that was as pro-Israel as possible.
He's already about to appoint people to his cabinet that should make anyone who claims to be part of any kind of liberty movements hair turn white, okay? And we could go into the whole list of people like John Bolton, who was a top guy in both Bush White Houses, most recently was UN ambassador, and who's all about every war we could possibly ever get in, or regime change or anything. He's a huge warmonger. We could talk about the fact that he's talking about putting in Richard Haas, president of the Council on Foreign Relations, who goes to Bilderberg. Let's just put that guy right into the American government directly. Sounds great. Reince Priebus, head of the RNC. I mean, they sound like establishment globalists to me. I don't know about you guys. Mitt Romney, you guys. Freaking Mitt Romney. Seriously? But most of all, Rudy Giuliani. I have had people try to argue with me that Trump is going to reopen the 9/11 case. Oh, really? Is he going to put his good bud Rudy Giuliani in charge of the investigation so he can destroy whatever evidence is left, like he destroyed a bunch of the evidence at the crime scene after it happened?
I see you as Attorney General.
Well, I sure know the Justice Department.
Okay, that's a yes.
That guy? Mayor Noun Verb 9/11? Rudy Giuliani? You can't overlook Rudy Giuliani and act like that's okay. I'm sorry, but I don't even see how people are doing that with a straight face. How does that work in your mind when you know what a crime, what an inside job 9/11 was, and he's got Rudy Giuliani up there? That's gotta be painful to have those two conflicting thoughts inside your head trying to escape. I mean, I'm not sure what people expected when his campaign finance chair is a 17-year Goldman Sachs banker who used to work for George Soros and supposedly turned down an invite to Skull and Bones. I've been cussed out by people I thought were friends or fans on my Facebook wall because I refuse to get on the Trump train. And they're trying to claim that I've changed everything I stand for, and that's just not true. I feel like I've watched over the last 6 months especially a lot of people change everything they stood for blatantly, but I've been standing for the same thing this whole time. Just because I said that I'm glad Hillary Clinton didn't win doesn't mean for 2 seconds that I'm happy that Trump did. I mean, I'm sure there's a hopeful side of all of us that want to believe that he's going to go in there and drain the swamp. But so far, all he's done is make promises to fill the swamp with even more swamp creatures. Not even inaugurated yet. And filling up their advisors and cabinet positions with the same kind of people that gave us this mess in the first place. And I feel like what you just got done witnessing was Trump win an election using data analysis talking points, which he probably got from Bannon and co over there, analyzing what people were thinking in the alt-right and then using those as talking points to win the election. And these data analysis, it's a feedback loop. He's just feeding back to everyone what they wanted to hear. Clearly, I mean, that's why he's now making Bannon his top political strategist. Because that's what won him the election, was the political strategy of him being a feedback loop of talking points that people in the alternative media wanted to hear to win that election. And that's how it worked. You know, because if you actually look at the data, half of all registered voters did not vote. I didn't vote. Aaron didn't vote. I refused to vote. I refuse to legitimize this dog and pony circus show with my vote. Because it's just more of the same, and it's already proving to be more of the same. I thought he would at least wait until getting inaugurated to completely go back on everything he said, but he's already starting to do it, and it's only been a week.
Learned Friday that the Trump campaign is now open to keeping key provisions of the Affordable Care Act after promising on the campaign trail to actually repeal and replace the legislation.
And I have seen more hate out of people over this, and more anger. And people are right to be angry, but Trump is just a steam valve, and it's the same thing we've been saying this whole time. But now it actually looks like the Jeb Bush cabinet that never was is going to come take over the White House. So being excited about Hillary losing was about 5 minutes. I was excited for about 5 whole minutes until the realization sunk in that, you know, we're going to have the new neocons. Oh, goody. I just want to go back to my question, though. The liberty movement, where is it? Alt-right is basically just the right, and that's what everyone's already saying anyway, and I think most of us know that. I'm not on the alt-right. I've never been on the alt-right, not on the alt-left either. In fact, I pretty much feel like right now I'm outside of this entire thing, and I'm watching it the way that people must feel in the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where everyone's walking around with aliens having taken them over, and I'm just trying to kind of squeak through the crowd and not get pointed out by one of those people that does the creepy scream. And the depth and the breadth of the brainwashing. I mean, you have people on the left being paid by Soros to riot. You have other people on the left who are legitimately behind Hillary, amazing as that is to say, crying and making videos about how they're going to kill themselves because they think the world is going to end now because Donald Trump is president. No, I don't want to die! They've been fed a steady diet of mainstream media fear porn for the last 2 years, and what you're seeing when these people cry is the equivalent of watching a trauma-based mind control victim. I mean, we're witnessing the result of 2 years of corporate brainwashing on these people who get all of their news from CNN and literally think the sky is going to fall on them now. They actually, that's real terror you're watching. And it's very melodramatic and ridiculous, but there are some legitimate people who are actually that upset. And they're victims of the mind control programming. Watching stuff like this was just like watching a group of people pretend with all their might that they actually had a dog in this race when really it's just two horrible options and no good choices. Sad. Very sad. Worse, though, in my opinion, than that, which is sad enough, is on the right, which has swept a large portion of the alternative media back under its wing. You have people going, yeah, the liberal left, what a bunch of biased liars, but the right, that's the good guys who aren't biased or feeding me any propaganda at all. Which is kind of a hard claim to make, considering Breitbart's Bannon is moving into the White House in a few months. But yeah, they're not going to be biased at all, I'm sure. I mean, here's what I'm talking about with the dissonance. It's to the level that as more and more evidence that a neocon Jeb Bush party is happening at the White House this January, you have people who supported Trump, liberty-minded people who are trying to make what they're seeing fit into their belief system, concocting total fairy stories that Trump's just keeping his enemies close. And I mean, look at these comments. Once it came out that Ted Cruz was going to be named.
I tell you what I really think of Donald Trump. This man is a pathological liar. He doesn't know the difference between truth and lies. He lies practically every word that comes out of his mouth.
I spent several hours in Trump Tower, had the chance to meet with the president-elect, with the vice president-elect, with senior members of the transition team. And I think we had very good and productive conversations about how we can work together.
You have people writing things like, Trump's going to remove Cruz from his seat of power in the Senate and dump him in the DOJ, order him to prosecute Hillary, and when he refuses, Trump's going to say, you're corrupt and insubordinate, you're fired. That's going to happen, really? Then we've got Jamie Dimon or Lloyd Blankfein would make excellent Treasury secretaries, at least for a day or two it would take to pin a felony on him and have him dragged off by the FBI and IRS. Yeah, because the FBI and IRS is just always dragging people off, right? I mean, it's just these wondrous, heroic tales of swamp draining, and that's all they are. Tales. And no one wants to hear that right now. I mean, I even saw a guy saying Trump should ditch the DOE and create a Department of Electoral Integrity. It should be part of Homeland Security. Maybe Chris Christie can run it. I'm also sick of hearing people say that we should just wait until he's inaugurated to make any judgments. While we're watching the train wreck in slow motion, we're not supposed to say anything. There's two things wrong with that. First of all of the people that I just mentioned. But secondly, I don't really have to wait 3 months because I've studied history. I've seen the way that every presidential election has played out the entire time I've been alive. So I have a lifetime of information to go on here by making these statements about what I'm seeing right now. It's based on observable facts. It's based on history. That's like saying, I know you burned your hand on the stove 10 other times, but go ahead, just put your hand on the stove one more time. Don't learn from the past at all. It won't hurt. Go ahead. I watched a large portion of this country say the same type of stuff when Obama came in.
It's still about hope. It is still about change.
I just thought there were more people who were awake than that, I guess. And it's just been terribly depressing to see that that's not the case. I said I was going to try and pick out a different name from alt-right because I refused to drink the Kool-Aid. And I actually went on Facebook and I said, hey, independent media, maybe we should go with another name besides alt-right for the people who are not on the Trump train. And someone said, all sarcastic, why not change it to No Hope, No Solutions Media? Yeah, fine. How about I change it to False Hope and Fake Solutions Media, where I just sit around lying to people all day and confirming their biases and making them feel real good and telling them everything they want to hear. So I can be just as popular and awesome as the mainstream media. Because that's basically what it is when someone tells you that some white knight on a shining horse is going to ride into the White House and change everything. This is a web mesh network. No one person is gonna... Why suddenly does a president have all the power when that's not been the case for decades? If last time a president tried to have some power, he got assassinated. Okay? I feel like I woke up on another planet and I'm watching everybody lose their damn minds in one go. It's really sad. So I'm sorry if this video has pissed off a lot of people, but at the same time, it's not called confirmation bias media. That's not why I'm here. It's called Truth Stream Media because I'm just trying to tell you what I think is true. And I think right now, a lot of people don't want to acknowledge the truth. They don't want to see the truth. They don't want to hear the truth. But the reason that voting doesn't matter, I'm not saying that just because of numbers or the way that voting machines have been rigged. What I'm ultimately saying when I say that, and I think what a lot of people are saying when they say that, is that this system cannot be changed from within. The system clearly won't allow it. And that's what you're seeing now. I knew this was gonna happen. I saw it coming. I'm not shocked that it's happening. What I'm shocked about is the response of people making excuses for this and getting on board with it. I'm sorry, but I refuse to drink the Kool-Aid on Donald Trump. That's just not the popular thing to say right now, but I refuse to sit up here and spout off a bunch of bullshit.
The world is evolving, becoming more efficient, smarter, driverless cars, faster, waiterless restaurants. Advances in technology are forever changing the way we interact with our reality.
We're talking about the American dream this morning. I do believe in the American dream.
Great American dream.
A, B, C, D, small, medium, large, paper, or glass items. 500 channels, but nothing's on. House loan, car loan, student loan.
But what will happen to everyone when what they do for a living
gets replaced by something that can do it better?
With advances in artificial intelligence.
Victim of what economists have called technological unemployment.
The job market is tough. Plants are closing and employees are being laid off.
The value of human labor is dropping to near zero.
Artificial intelligence, the end of the human race.
We are taking control.
That family planning is connected with employment. Employment has a connection.
Efficiency, technological progress,
automation, robots.
We are more valuable than you.
Algorithms, delivery drones.
They have engineered a future that doesn't need us.
When business falls off, I'm going to be applying for benefits.
Yes, you can.
Are you going to sit by and wait for the government to just take care of you? Or are you ready to understand why they don't need us? Plan your future before they plan it for you.
This is the next evolution. You cannot turn against the tide. Man's time has passed.
Struggle is about maintaining our humanity.
Your future could belong to us.
My question, would you take action against Iran militarily if you're president?
Depending on what the deal is, I would have to do that. I would defend certain groups of people over there.
The one that stood against big government and against the police state.
Stop and frisk had a tremendous impact on the safety of New York City, tremendous beyond belief.
And against the unconstitutional NSA surveillance state that's wrapping itself all around us right now.
I err on the side of security.
All right, so you would be in favor of restoring the Patriot Act?
I think that would be fine. As far as I'm concerned, that would be fine.
Where did that movement go? Because all I'm seeing today is a bunch of people making all kinds of completely irrational excuses for the complete flip-flopping of Donald Trump that has happened in just the course of a week. He's not even inaugurated yet. You'll have to excuse me, I'm a little sick, so my voice is a little messed up, but I just wanted to ask, what happened to the liberty movement? I'm not talking about this new alt-right hybrid mutation. It's only been a week, and he's already completely changed his tone. He's really toned down a lot of his major talking points, which helped him get elected in the first place. He's completely flip-flopped on Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. He's talking about, people keep waiting, they say lock her up. He's not going to do it. He's already come out to say they're very good people and
said you wanted to get in jail.
You're talking about the actual liberty movement. The one that stood for 9/11 truth. The one that stood against all of these unconstitutional wars and regime change operations.
The deal with Iran will lead to nuclear problems. All they have to do is sit back 10 years, and they don't have to do much, and they're going to end up getting nuclear. I met with Bibi Netanyahu the other day. Believe me, he is not a happy camper.